Few parts of the human body stir as much fascination, mystery, and cultural debate as the female nipple. Despite its small size, it carries enormous emotional, neurological, and social significance. We often reduce it to a symbol of either modesty or eroticism. But beneath those surface-level narratives lies a deeper, richer reality, one shaped by biology, shaped by brain chemistry, and distorted by centuries of cultural conditioning. The female nipple is not merely a visual trigger. It's a biological tool deeply connected to human survival and maternal care. During and after pregnancy, it becomes the essential channel through which a newborn receives life-sustaining nourishment. That single function alone establishes its evolutionary importance. But nature didn't stop there. The area surrounding the nipple, the areola, is densely filled with nerve endings and smooth muscle, making it one of the most sensitive regions on the female body. This sensitivity is no accident. It serves a purpose far greater than surface reaction. Women's nipples respond quickly to subtle stimuli. A breeze, a brush of fabric, a drop-in temperature. These reactions are part of a sophisticated feedback system wired into the nervous system. They don't just react physically. They spark emotional and hormonal responses that shift based on mood, context, and desire. In other words, there are complex messengers, not just body parts. And here's where the psychological twist begins. Both men and women have nipples, but why are they seen through such radically different lenses? A man walking shirtless down a street barely registers a second glance. But if a woman did the same, it would likely provoke censorship, outrage, or even scandal. It's not anatomy that draws attention. It's the meaning society has built around it. This phenomenon is rooted in the psychological principle of sexual dimorphism, how identical traits are perceived differently based on gender. The nipple itself hasn't changed. What has shifted is how we've been taught to view it. Across much of the world, cultural conditioning has framed the female nipple not as natural, but as controversial. That difference is not scientific. It's entirely social. In many Western and conservative societies, female nudity, especially the chest, has long been regulated, hidden, or outright banned. The female form is often viewed as something that must be controlled or censored. But in numerous tribal and indigenous cultures, breasts and nipples are seen as normal parts of the body. They're not sensationalized, they're not sexualized, they just are. And that contrast is telling. Psychology research reveals that our emotional reactions to body parts are not hardwired. They are learned. We are trained, often unconsciously, to associate certain parts of the body with shame or sex. And the more we hide or forbid them, the more powerful they become in our minds. This is what makes the female nipple so psychologically charged in repressed cultures. It's not the nipple itself, but the aura of secrecy surrounding it. In places where women's bodies are openly acknowledged as functional and natural, used for breastfeeding, warmth, and care, the public discomfort disappears. There, a woman's chest isn't a scandal, it's a body. But in places where even a partial glimpse is met with alarm, the nipple becomes a flashpoint of judgment. This reaction is not innate. It's a mirror of our environment, our media, our rules. It's emotional conditioning, not instinct. Now here's a scientific insight that most people don't expect. Neurologically, nipple stimulation activates the same brain regions as genital contact. This is not speculation. It's been verified through brain imaging studies. The somatosensory cortex, the region that processes touch, lights up during nipple stimulation just as it does during sexual intimacy. This means the nipple is not just biologically responsive. It's wired directly into emotional and sensual pleasure. This neurological overlap explains why the nipple can serve both a nurturing and erotic role. During breastfeeding, it facilitates maternal bonding, but in moments of arousal, it can also be a source of intense pleasure. This dual capacity isn't a flaw. It's a feature of human design. And instead of embracing this complexity, society often reduces it to a one-dimensional taboo. We label it provocative when it's actually layered and deeply personal. This simplification does more harm than good. When young girls grow up in a world where their bodies are censored, judged, or overly sexualized, they absorb those messages into their identity. Many women struggle with shame, confusion, or detachment from their own anatomy, not because of how they feel, but because of what they've been told to feel. That disconnection becomes a quiet burden, shaping self-imagine in subtle, painful ways. Mental health is directly impacted by these messages. Women who are taught to cover, conceal, or feel guilt over natural parts of their body often develop body image issues, anxiety, or dissociation. When a person feels their body is wrong or dangerous, it severs the link between self and embodiment. Healing begins when we shift from control to acceptance, from silence to open conversation about what the body truly is. By contrast, body-positive education and honest, informed discussions can lead to empowerment. When women understand their bodies on their own terms, biologically, psychologically, emotionally, they reclaim autonomy. They feel more connected to themselves and are better equipped to form healthy, secure relationships. This isn't just theory. It's something supported by years of research in self-esteem and psychological well-being. Yet, despite all the science and nuance, we continue to sensationalize the female nipple. Its power doesn't come from the skin itself. It comes from the heavy silence and moral tension imposed around it. That silence is what makes it seem scandalous. That censorship is what gives it its taboo. The only way to dissolve that false narrative is through awareness, education, and empathy. When we begin to see the female body through a scientific lens, we unlock the truth. It's not a symbol of sin or shame. It's a system evolved, intricate, and built for connection. The female nipple represents nourishment, emotional intimacy, and sensuality. And those truths deserve clarity, not censorship. They deserve understanding, not repression. Once we view the body through this wider lens, our entire culture begins to shift. Even among women, sensitivity in the nipple varies greatly. Some women report powerful stimulation and emotional arousal during touch, while others may feel nothing more than a soft tickle. These differences are real and valid. Hormonal changes during menstruation, pregnancy, or menopause can amplify or dull this sensitivity. There's no single normal, only individual experience, and that too needs to be understood without judgment. Adding to the complexity is the modern media battleground over the nipple. Movements like Free the Nipple didn't arise to be provocative. They were born to challenge the bizarre double standard that equates female visibility with indecency. These movements aim to reclaim bodily autonomy and normalize what should never have been taboo. Their message is simple. Visibility is not vulgarity. Anatomy is not an offense. The real question isn't whether a nipple should be shown. The question is, who gets to decide, and why does that decision carry such emotional power? On social platforms, a man can post shirtless selfies without issue, while a woman might face deletion, bans, or moral outrage for the exact same image. The algorithms themselves reflect our bias-flagging female skin while approving male exposure. This imbalance has real-world psychological consequences. When one gender is allowed to exist freely and the other is punished for the same behavior, it reinforces a dangerous idea that the female body is a problem to be fixed, hidden, or restrained. That perception doesn't just affect women, it distorts everyone's relationship with femininity, intimacy, and empathy. It reshapes how we love, how we touch, how we communicate. The female nipple, then, is more than a body part. It's a cultural symbol, one that exposes how we treat women, how we define decency, and how we understand pleasure. To reduce it, something shameful, is to ignore its complexity. To embrace it with curiosity and respect is to allow a fuller, freer experience of humanity. The more we learn, the less we judge. The less we judge, the more we connect. So, let this be clear. The female nipple is not obscene. It is sensitive, responsive, and essential. It's a point of life and a point of pleasure. It's not the nipple that's shocking. It's the societal failure to understand it, to teach it, and to honor it. The discomfort we feel is not natural. It's learned. And that means we can unlearn it if we're willing to see the truth for what it really is. Ultimately, when we replace shame with science and censorship with curiosity, we evolve. We expand what it means to honor the female body, not as a fantasy, not as a fear, but as a living, breathing, complex part of the human experience. Understanding the female nipple isn't just about anatomy. It's about emotional maturity. And that understanding is long overdue.